Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of ISM Radio. I'm your host, Gage Simon, and I'm here tonight at Idea Stream Marketing's Executive Networking event in the library at the world-renowned Ohika Castle. And I have the pleasure of sitting here tonight with Taylor Zuvic from Timelesstaleevents. I love the name. It's a great name.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's not hard for me to remember either. You know, I wrote it down a couple times, but Timelesstaleevents, it kind of flows.
It certainly does. The TTE.
How'd you come up with it?
Honestly, a lot of it was Googling. I was Googling different names to see which ones were already taken, things like that. And then my love for Disney also kind of came into play with Timelesstaleevents. So when I saw that name, it just resonated with me so much that I said, you know what, that's it.
Now, you've been in the event industry for 8 years, and a year ago you decided that's it. Timelesstaleevents, time to start it up. Let's go.
Yep, 100%. I love the event industry, and I wanted to be able to do it myself.
Right. So tell us a little bit about 8 years ago, how you got started and why you did this. It's really, I know you have a passion and a love for the event and being there and seeing how energetic and how it just how you transform a venue into this amazing Timeless Tale event. But tell us a little bit about 8 years ago, how you got into this.
So I got into it, honestly, doing events for friends and family. I found a love for seeing people's faces, how they see the event once the event's set up and once they go in and they see the final setup and the venue and how it looks and just the look on their faces. It brings such joy to me, that the happiness. I said, you know what, I need to do this. And there was one day we were doing a vow renewal for my husband and I. My daughter and I planned everything ourselves. We did the decor ourselves, sitting on my bedroom floor, made the centerpieces, all of it. And I had multiple people tell me, you need to do this on your own. You need to do this professionally. You need to do it. And at first it felt like a compliment. But eventually, I said, you know what, maybe people are right. I looked at my daughter. I said, you want to start a business? And she looked at me and she said, yes. And that's how Timeless Tale began.
That's all it takes. And there's nothing better than that, especially when the kids are involved. I know what that's like. But I incorporated an entertainment company back in 1992.
Wow.
And we did our first wedding for like $300. Me and Mark used a pair of community speakers. They were called community DJ speakers. We made our own front board. We had turntables. We had all the records we needed that we thought we needed. Back then, there was no MP3s. And that's how it all began, very, very long time ago. I was in that industry for 25 years. So I really have a love for what you do. I have a passion for it. A lot of my friends still do it. And I'm excited because you actually wrote some books. So I'm excited to read the book.
Yeah.
You wrote 9 books about the entertainment industry.
I did. The first book I wrote was called Your Event, A Story to Be Told. It's basically a guide into...
Is that this one?
That is this one, yep. It's a guide on event planning, and it compares event planning to storytelling, because when you plan an event, you want to think about the senses. You want to think about what guests are going to see, what they're going to hear, what they're going to feel, what they're going to smell. All of that is incorporated into what you create in the decor and the creative elements, because you want to have an emotional feel to your event.
Absolutely.
That's one of the biggest things. So that's really what that book is about. Comparing events to storytelling.
And being a DJ for 20 plus years, for me, it really was when they come into that room, what are the first few things that they're hearing? Where do you want to take this crowd? Then you're pre-prepared, so you have everything set and ready to go, but you really got to read the crowd and see where you're going to go with this. Is it a high society? Are you playing the Rat Pack? What's the age group here? What's the demographic? A lot of times you have, bride and groom. Let's say, I know you do a lot of weddings.
Yeah.
So you have a bride and groom tell you what they want to hear. It's their day. It's their songs. But sometimes those songs might not get the crowd really. It might get their clique of 10 people going, but you got to know what's going to get that whole crowd going after you play what was needed to suffice, give them their special
100%.
moment, right? So there's a lot that people don't realize that really goes into the mindset once we hit play. And once we start and we hit play, there's a countdown. It's a 4 hours of from now until the end.
You're running.
You are, and you're on. There's, everybody's trying to put out fires and fix things, and that's the event industry.
Yeah, of course.
And people don't realize that.
A lot of day of coordination with us. So day of coordination, you're running around making sure all the vendors know where they're setting up. Timelines are distributed out to each vendor, confirming, for COIs, certificate of insurances for venues, things like that. Running around, making sure nothing, goes wrong, everything goes off without a hitch. That's a lot of what we do.
And it's a lot of work.
100%.
You know, and just the, you know, the logistics behind an event is big enough where a lot of this is planned out a year in advance. That's when people would give us deposits and write a contract and
Yep.
book the entertainment because they knew what they wanted. They wanted these specific dancers at their bar mitzvah. They wanted this MC. You know, there was a lot of specifics involved.
And that's
Now,
one of the biggest things I tell my clients is you need to book your vendors. You need to book them ahead of time, especially a year out, because they book so quickly.
what people don't realize, they see
Yeah.
them at another event, and they like them, and they say, that's it, I want to wrap them up. Done. And that's how fast it works. They're easy to do a contract, give a deposit,
Yep.
and they're booked.
Yeah.
It's really not hard for somebody to book it. You know, there's nothing to be afraid of and to commit to it. I guess it's people just want to see what's out there, what's available. They always think there's going to be something
Something
bigger and
else.
better.
Yeah.
You know, and so 8 years ago, you started the entertainment company. Well, you started in the industry, and then a year ago, you decided to do Timeless Tale Events. So you told us how you came up with the name. Now tell them a little bit about, you know, if somebody's having an event, why they want to go to you, what to expect, you know, give them a little bit of the Taylor feel, you know, make it personable. So
that's exactly it. What you just said, personable. You want an event to be personable, and that's one of the biggest things we do. We make it personable. Not only that, but we also are kind of a one-stop shop. We do custom creations as well. I have a 3D printer, a laser engraver, heat press, sublimation printer, so we can make the favors for you. We can make the signs, all of that kind of stuff.
it's okay, keep going.
Yep. So all of that kind of stuff. So we can make everything for you on site. So you don't have to worry about a thing. You know, you have all of that within our capabilities. We're there for day of coordination. We're there for partial planning, you know, from 3 months out on. We're there for full planning if that's what you want, where we guide you for your vendors. We make your timeline. We make it basically easy. So you don't have to worry about the event itself. You can go there. You can have a good time. You don't have to be, you know, oh my God, what happened here? Oh my God, the kids weren't fed. Oh, this didn't happen. Oh, that didn't happen. That's our job. That's what we take care of. And we make sure that emotions come out, you know, that people feel what's going on. People see what's going on. It's not just, let's go and dance the night away. It's no, let's feel what exactly the environment that they have created here.
Right. And believe me, I've seen some crazy environments created here in this castle because I've done hundreds of parties here. And I've worked with tons of bands and big named acts and a ton of fun. But I've seen them transform rooms in here, like redo the entire carpet on the floor, bring in statues, things people probably couldn't even imagine that they've done in this place.
Yeah.
They transformed to create that environment that they wanted, but they had the money to do that. You know what I mean? So we're live right now at Oheka Castle, and you stopped talking because there's brides and grooms walking around right now taking
100%.
photographs, and people are going to walk into the library, and you heard talking, and people are here. We didn't shut the castle down to do this. We host a networking event here once a month, and we sit down in the library, we podcast, and we're live, raw, unscripted, right here in the library at Oheka Castle. So that's what you just witnessed behind Taylor, and hopefully it doesn't go on too much here, but at the same time, they can walk through the room and do things. We usually close the doors, but...
It's also kind of nice to see all the dresses and stuff that come through too.
Oh, it's amazing. You know, they used to host an amazing bridal expo here. And OHK, the restaurant, I have videos that I could show you that I literally transformed that room into a fashion runway like it was Victoria's Secret. And the dress companies would just show off all the different dresses and have the models walking down. And we did the lighting, the music, and everything. We blocked off the windows with curtains. I mean, we really made it spectacular in there just for the wedding showcase. And it was really cool. And it wasn't just a wedding showcase. It was for people coming here, having bar mitzvahs, any events here. So tell us a little bit about the different style events that you do. I mean, this is so natural speaking about this industry for me because I was in it for so many years. So I don't feel like I'm even doing a podcast right now. I just feel like I'm talking
We're
to
just
you.
having a conversation,
I feel like I'm
right?
just talking to you about the business. So tell me a little bit about the different events that you do that you just spoke to them about how you put all that hard work into it. Communions, bar mitzvahs, go ahead, rattle them off.
Yeah, so we do all social events. So birthdays, bar mitzvahs, kids' birthdays, which are my personal favorite because I love seeing those kids' faces and how happy they are running around. We do weddings, you know, christenings. We've done sweet 16s, quinceañeras, all of that. We kind of have a world-round experience when it comes to events. And we've done networking events too. We've done corporate events. So we kind of try to hit every angle we can with events.
Well, that's where I met you. You were a host at our networking event.
Correct.
at
Yeah.
the studio.
Yes, I
so
was.
that was fantastic. That was great. And I'm sure this time of the year, you get busy with graduations because there's a lot of graduations
yeah.
going on right now. May into June, it gets busy with everybody's having a graduation party. And
Yeah.
what weekend do they do it? Because
Yeah.
it gets busy.
100%. Graduations are a big thing as well. You know, especially those big ones when they're graduating high school or they're graduating college with those big, big moments. And parents really want to make it emotional. They want to make it feel. They want to make it, you know, something special for their kids. They want something special. And a lot of times they don't know exactly what they want special. You know, they'll give us, I want this theme, I want that theme. And it's, you run with it. You figure it out. You go from
Right.
there.
It's the creative gene in you that you can bring out the different ideas to bring that event to life for that theme, which is, to me, was always a lot of fun. It really was. You know, we came, I'm very creative, and coming up with great ideas for people, you know, whether it was, you know, how we're going to accent the lighting in the room to help create that theme. People don't realize all those things that go into the fine details
100%.
of an event, that the lighting is key, where some people say, well, forget the lighting. You know,
I just had a client recently who completely forgot about lighting. We were going through everything, you know, she had for her events. And she's like, am I forgetting anything? And I'm like, you're forgetting lighting. And she's like, what do you mean lighting? And I'm like, well, you got to figure out what you want for lighting. Do you want the ambiance to be light mood? Do you want it to be, you know, heavy lighting as far as different colors? What do you want your event to have?
Now, back in the 90s, I'll tell you this is funny. It used to be a battle on the dance floor because back then the videographer thought he was the greatest thing in the world and his video was going to be watched by everybody there and it's a big deal. And they paid a lot of money for it. And he's walking around with this big giant tripod with this huge camera on it with a very bright light. And then around the room, he set up remote lights that he flicks on and turns the whole room into this big bright light so that his video is amazingly lit up and looks great. Meanwhile, from the entertainment perspective, we're like, dude, you're killing the whole ambiance of the room. We want to turn this into a nightclub for them, and they want to enjoy it, and he wants to videotape. And it was like that battle of, you know, what's right,
Back
what's
and
wrong.
forth,
So
yeah.
holy cow! So
Yeah,
I,
well, that's another important thing. Lighting for you know, videos too. That's a huge thing. You need to have bright lighting so that you can actually see the people on screen.
my advice to people when they would hire these photographers is like Dean. He recently got married, and I would tell them, my best tidbit of advice to you is enjoy your own party. They're going to pull you out of your cocktail hour to go do hundreds of photos. Guess what? Get there early and do all your photos early so that you can get into your cocktail hour and mingle with all these people that came to mingle and hang out with you, that you're not just walking around to tables throughout the night when you're half wasted.
100%.
And, you know, and you miss it all. You know what I mean? So it's 5 hours of, you know, for me, it was 5 hours. You couldn't make a mistake.
I tell that to all my brides. Do, you know, a reveal and then take your photos ahead of time. Take all your photos ahead of time.
Right.
Because rather than being pulled out for cocktail hour, you're not going to enjoy it. You're going to be taking photos throughout your whole cocktail hour. That's not something that's fun. You paid the money for it. You want to enjoy it, you know?
100%. And that's the best advice I could give anybody getting married is don't let the photographers and all those people that you hired to do stuff for your party ruin the 5-hour event that you're having, because it takes so much time out of you spending time with the people you invited that I think it can be done earlier in the day.
100%.
You know, and which people are here now. They're here taking their photographs for
Yeah.
their wedding.
Yeah, we just had a bride that came in that was getting married, I think, June 14th or 16th, and they said that they were taking their photos today.
Yeah.
Getting them out the way, you know? It's so much easier that way. Then you
I see the
enjoy
bridal
your
parties
event.
out there now. It's a, you know, it's a. So what's the favorite time of the year for you? For me, I mean, events. This is obviously May into June into July. Are the best outdoor events and the weather, you know, permitting events.
I'd say, you know, well, this is probably the busiest season. This is what we call booking season.
Right.
Where everyone's booking for next year and things like that. But I have to say my favorite events fall around the holidays in December, where you get those special themes like Winter Wonderland and things like that. You know, we actually, for my employees every year, I have an end of the year party, and we were doing Winter Wonderland theme this year. So I'm actually very excited for it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So Winter Wonderland. And is your daughter going to help you with that one?
100%. We already were looking at flowers for centerpieces. So.
And so let's talk about that. You have all those different vendors. Explain to them all the different stuff that you do, because people, like I walked in today and I'll tell you the first thing I noticed. Let me tell you the first thing I noticed when I walked into Heat Castle. They had no centerpiece. When you walk in, that round table, the fireplace is usually on, and there's a big floral arrangement right there in the center. I looked around, there was no flowers, no any of that stuff, and I was shocked.
Yeah.
Because this place is very on top of that stuff, and it's actually a Wednesday. Right? Today's Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, so it's kind of like in between what might happen here on the weekend, and I'm sure they'll have something on that table.
Probably, yeah.
But I was shocked that there was no centerpiece there to walk into.
Yeah, no, and that's, it's disappointing when you see something like that. It brings you down a little bit. You want to see those flowers because those flowers bring you up. So that's a big thing there. We make those centerpieces. So that's another thing. We do either faux flowers or real flowers. We make the centerpieces. Some of the most beautiful ones we have a really gold stand where we make centerpieces on. I've done different characters as well. Like we've cut out of wood. We cut different character molds to add wood, and we paint them with different characters. I've done Beauty and the Beast. I've done Minions. Minions were the favorite.
Yeah,
and
sure.
it's great. That's actually great for birthday parties because people get to sign them. So you can sign them, and guess what? You have something to keep from your kid's birthday party.
Right, which is really cool. Any of the keepsakes that they can walk away with is always great. Now, speaking of keepsakes and things people could walk away with, you didn't just create one book. You created 9 books. And so the first book, your event is about your event. But then the other 8 books that you did write is from a third-party perspective of what the event is really like, what to expect.
Correct. So it's a series, and that's actually the first book of the series called Experiencing an Event the Way It Was Meant to Be Felt. It follows a woman going through a wedding and all the decor and the different things that she's experiencing, like a memory wall and things like that she goes through, and she makes comments on everything that she's looking at and she's going through. The series itself follows the woman through her entire life, and it goes through every event from her life. So it goes through from her, from the wedding she attended to her wedding, to her baby shower, to the gender reveal, to the kids' birthdays, to, graduation. So it goes through all of the different events that you can experience in your life.
Each series.
Each book in the series.
Yeah, each book. So
Goes
that's
through
why
a
there's 8 of
different
them.
event. Yeah, it goes through a different event each book. So some of them have 2 events actually. So it depends on which one it is.
Did your daughter make it into any of the books?
She didn't, but there was one where I was writing, I was really thinking of her, so I did dedicate a book to her. So she does definitely.
Oh, there you go.
have
Okay, cool. So
dedication.
there's dedication inside the book, so she
Yes.
can see it.
Yes.
That's cool. We both have 11-year-olds, so it's like it's an 11-year-old thing. You know what I mean? My 11-year-old daughter is my world. She's my one girl. I have 3 boys that are older than her, and my daughter is my world for sure.
Oh yeah, they're the apple of your eye.
Without a doubt, 100%. So I know that you do a lot in the industry as far as different vendors and all the different services that you offer, and you keep the cost down for people by having a home office.
Correct.
Which turns into chaotic, because there's always a room dedicated to doing something, all set
I
up,
have a
ready
whole
to go.
bedroom full of storage of just event stuff. Centerpiece stands, wood cutouts, all that kind of stuff, just sitting in one room. I have my printer in that room. I have a laser in one room. So it's like my house is literally exploded in events.
Yes, I totally understand that. I know all about that because I grew out of that into warehouses and vans and all the crazy stuff that you need in the entertainment industry to make the logistics of it all come together and work. But it's great that you keep the cost down for people. If they want to get in touch with you, Timelesstaleevents.com.
Yep.
What's the best way? They go to the website, fill out a form. Should they contact you?
They can go to a website, fill out a form. They can actually contact me directly through my phone number, call or text. You could do either or. It's 516-983-7346. You can also email info@timelesstaleevents.com. So there's multiple platforms, multiple ways you can really get in touch with us.
Sure, and you guys are on social media too? You have
100%. We have TikTok, we have Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. So we're on all forms of social media. You can see some of our events on there as well, some of the work we do with custom creations, all of it's on social media.
I was on TikTok today. I did a TikTok live. So the first time, I've done 82 episodes from my boat of my Bay Rats and Buoys podcast. Today, I decided to put the phone on and go live on my TikTok feed. And because it's just like this, we're raw and unscripted. There's no script here. We don't know what we're going to say, where we're going to go.
Yeah.
So I do the same thing for my boating and fishing podcast. and I was live on TikTok, and it got first time I ever did it, it got 1,000 likes while I was live.
That's amazing.
And I was just sitting there talking with the phone on, doing my podcast like I normally do. But you never know where any of these social media things are going to go, you know? So that's why I say it's always good to give out the social media handles and whatnot. Timeless Tale Events, go check them out on Facebook, TikTok, everywhere.
Yeah, we are on Instagram, Facebook at Timeless Tale Events. The only thing is with TikTok at Timeless Tale Events was taken, so we're timeless.tale.eve.
Okay.
So,
but they can get that on your website. So that's the beauty to it. You only have to go to timelesstaleevents.com, and then you actually find the appropriate channels and the handles.
Yeah,
just
right
click
on the
on
bottom
it.
of the page.
Yeah,
we
just
have all of our social
it's on the
media.
footer, so just click on it in the footer. It'll take you to it. And no, it was great. It was great meeting you at our event. We were lucky to have you up there hosting and welcoming everybody. You were great at that. And
Thank you.
I know you've been in the industry a long time doing it. You're almost got a decade in, so I'm sure you're excited to see what 27 and 28 brings, because the events only get bigger.
Yeah, it's true. They only get bigger. You know, people want to go overboard sometimes. They want to.
That's what happens here at the castle.
Yep.
These are the overboard events that I've seen in my lifetime. In 25 years of the entertainment industry, Oheka Castle had the overboard events for sure.
And every year they just get bigger and bigger and bigger because people think of new things they want, new creative ways of running an event, of putting into an event. You know, there's so many different things you can put into an event. You could do photo booths in events now. You know,
Sure, the
back in day,
360
that
photo
wasn't-
booth. It's limitless.
Yeah, 100%. Back in the day, you wouldn't see photo booths.
My friends do the
Now-
dancing robots, the big dancing,
Yep.
characters that come to the party
Oh,
that
yeah.
all light up and.
Yeah, I've seen somebody who even has one of those Velcro walls.
Right. Oh my God. The Velcro wall. Holy cow. There's a town upstate New York, and in 1993 or 4, they hired me to come up to, it was Socrates, New York. I did the prom for Socrates High School, and they hired me to take over an entire mall. And they wanted to convert the mall into an event space for the kids. And in one of the corridors, at the end of the corridor, where the stores ended, kind of like a Walt Whitman Mall, you walk down and it goes to the doors to get out. We put a huge 25-foot Velcro wall, and the kids were getting thrown onto this Velcro
my
wall.
gosh.
It was one of the craziest things in the 90s. There was a lot of fun, cool things that they did.
They probably had so much fun running at that Velcro wall.
Oh, absolutely. It's so cool. So it's funny you say Velcro wall. I can't believe they still exist.
Yeah, they do. One of our vendors, Ovations, uses a Velcro wall.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to? Any of your vendors you want to plug anybody or tell people what to expect in an event? Maybe you got a great band or a great DJ, a great
Definitely,
So
yeah.
go ahead.
I'd say one of our biggest event companies that we work with is Constant Entertainment, Danny D. Rock. He is actually featured in this book as well. So is Violet Invitations. They're both featured. We did interviews with them. That's in this book. Ada Studios is an amazing for photography and videography. Ovation is also great for photo booths. So some of those vendors we work with, they're great. They do a lot of amazing work. Have a lot of different options that you can go with, especially for anything extra that you want in your event.
Nice. All right. Well, we are at Oheka Castle, so there's no better venue in New York to sit and talk about events at. And I had the pleasure of sitting here with Taylor from Timeless Tale Events. You guys can check it out at timelesstaleevents.com. I'm Gage Simon, your host, and we're here tonight for Idea Stream Marketing's executive networking event that we try to do them every, once a month, but scheduling and different things. And, we try to get them in. I think the next one we're going to have is going to be at the studio, the 10,000 square foot studio in Kings Park, where you helped host the event with us for the grand opening and a little merger there with Tin Mirror Studios and Idea Stream Marketing. So is there anybody, anything you want to close it out and saying goodbye or tell them to go to your website? Feel free.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hit us up on the website. Any questions, anything like that, you can always reach out. We're always available. We have consultations, free consultations. So if you're unsure whether you need an event coordinator or an event planner or you need, custom creations, reach out. We can always do a free consultation and start with that and go from there, see if it's what you need.
All right, guys. Well, you got the phone number, you got the website. There's no reason you can't contact Taylor. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to her. They do a great job, and she'll be happy to meet you, consult with you, and figure out a way to make your event great at timelesstaleevents.com.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You're very welcome, Taylor. All right, guys, Gage and Taylor signing off. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to ISM Radio. Join us for our invitation-only executive networking event at the legendary Ohika Castle. For more information, visit ideastreammarketing.com.